Kaka was different. He was bigger than all the other children in the village. Because of this, people called him names and said he was useless. Kaka felt sad because he wanted to be helpful, but nobody gave him a chance. One day, there was a big festival in the village. Everyone was happy, and there was lots of food. Kaka wanted to join, but when he got there, the villagers laughed at him. "Look at Kaka. He will eat all the food," Tiga shouted. Everyone laughed. Kaka felt very bad. He walked away and sat under a big tree, alone. While he was sitting there, he saw a group of girls. They were talking and laughing. Kila, Aminat, and Lima were among them. Kaka liked Aminat, but he knew she would never like him back. Suddenly, they heard a loud noise. It was a group of men shouting. "Help! Help!" they cried. The girls got scared and ran towards the noise. Kaka followed them. When they reached the place, they saw a big cart stuck in the mud. The cart was full of food for the festival. The men tried to push it, but it wouldn't move. The village chief, Tao, was there too. He looked very worried. "We need to get this cart to the village," Tao said, "or the festival will be ruined." Kaka saw this and thought, maybe I can help. He walked up to the cart and said, "Let me try." The men laughed at him. You can't do anything. You will just make it worse." But Tao said, "Let him try." Kaka took a deep breath and pushed the cart with all his strength. The cart started to move. The men were surprised. They joined Kaka and together, they pushed the cart out of the mud. Everyone in the village saw what happened. They couldn't believe their eyes. Kaka had saved the festival. The villagers cheered and thanked him. But the story doesn't end here. Something even more surprising was about to happen. Even though Kaka saved the festival, people still made fun of him. The next day, when he went to the market, a boy named Tao laughed at him and said, "Kaka is so big, he blocks the sun." Everyone laughed. Kaka felt sad, but he didn't say anything. He went to buy some bread, but the baker, Lima's father, said, "Kaka, you eat too much. You need to leave some for others." Kaka left without buying anything. One evening, Kaka saw Aminat by the river. He gathered his courage and went to talk to her. "Aminat, can we be friends?" he asked. Aminat looked at him and said, "Kaka, you are kind, but you are too big and clumsy. I can't be friends with you." Kaka's heart sank. He walked away, feeling more alone than ever. He thought, will anyone ever see me for who I am inside? The next week, the village had another problem. The water from the river was not flowing into the village. The crops were drying up, and people were worried. Tao, the village chief, called a meeting. "We need to find out why the river is blocked," he said. "If we don't fix it, we will have no water." The villagers talked among themselves. No one wanted to go because the path to the river was steep and dangerous. Kaka stood up and said, "I will go and see what's wrong." Everyone looked at him in surprise. You can't even walk properly without falling," Tiga said. But Tao nodded and said, "Let Kaka go. Maybe he can help." Kaka set off towards the river. The path was rocky, and he stumbled many times, but he didn't give up. When he reached the river, he saw that a big tree had fallen and blocked the water. Kaka tried to move the tree, but it was too heavy. He sat down to rest and thought, "I need to do this. The village needs water." He gathered all his strength and pushed the tree with everything he had. Slowly, it started to move. Finally, with one last push, the tree rolled away, and the water flowed again. Kaka felt tired but happy. He returned to the village and told them what happened. The villagers couldn't believe it. "You saved us again, Kaka," Tao said. But despite his bravery, Kaka still faced mocking and rejection. He may be strong, but he's still too big, people whispered. Kaka wondered if his luck would ever change. Little did he know, a new challenge was just around the corner. One day, a new family moved into the village. They were from a faraway land. The father's name was Juma, the mother's name was Fatima, and they had a beautiful daughter named Zarat. When Zarat first came to the village, she saw Kaka sitting under the same tree where he had sat before. She noticed how kind he looked, even though he was big and often alone. Zarat went to her parents and said, "I want to meet that boy under the tree." Her mother, Fatima, was surprised. "Why do you want to meet Kaka? He is different from the other boys." Zarat smiled. "I see something special in him." Zarat walked over to Kaka. "Hello, my name is Zarat. Can I sit with you?" Kaka was surprised and shy. "Hello, Zarat. Of course, you can sit here." They talked and laughed together. Zarat liked how Kaka was friendly and kind. But when Kaka tried to talk to Aminat about Zarat, she laughed and said, "Why would a beautiful girl like Zarat like a big and clumsy boy like you?" Kaka felt hurt but didn't give up on Zarat. He continued to be friends with her, and they spent more time together. Zarat liked Kaka for who he was, not for his size. But things didn't get easier for Kaka. When he went to the market, the baker said, "Why are you always here? Are you here just to eat everything?" Kaka tried to ignore the rude comments, but it was hard. Even when he helped people, they still made fun of him. One day, he helped a farmer fix his broken cart, but the farmer said, "You're so big, you almost broke the cart even more." Despite the mean comments, Zarat stood by Kaka. She defended him when people were cruel. "Why do you treat him like that?" she asked the villagers. "Because he's too big and useless," they replied. Zarat was upset by their answers. "Kaka is not useless. He is kind and strong. You just don't see it." The villagers were quiet for a moment but then went back to whispering and laughing. One evening, Kaka went to find Zarat. He had made a small wooden toy for her. When he gave it to her, Zarat's eyes sparkled. "Thank you, Kaka. This is beautiful." Kaka was happy, but he also felt worried. "Will things ever change for me?" he asked. Zarat looked at him and said, "Sometimes it takes time for people to see what's special about others. But I believe that one day, they will see you for who you really are." Even with Zarat's kindness, Kaka still faced challenges. The villagers continued to mock him, and Aminat always turned him away. Kaka wondered if he would ever find a place where he was truly accepted. One day, a new problem came to the village. The river was flooding, and the water was getting too high. The villagers were scared and didn't know what to do. They were worried that the village would be damaged. Tao called a meeting and said, "We need to find a way to stop the flooding. Who will help us?" Everyone looked at Kaka, who was standing at the back. They whispered, "Will he mess this up too?" But Zarat stepped forward and said, "Kaka has helped us before. He can help us now." Tao looked at Kaka and nodded. "Will you help us, Kaka?" Kaka took a deep breath and said, "Yes, I will help." He knew this was another chance to prove himself, but he also knew it wouldn't be easy. Little did Kaka know, this challenge would lead him to a surprising discovery. Determined to find a way to ruin things. As the work began, Kaka and Zarat worked side by side, lifting heavy logs and digging channels for the water. The villagers started to see that Kaka was strong and useful, and they admired him for his efforts. Aminat clenched her fist, feeling left out. As they walked, Aminat noticed something. Zarat had taken a small piece of cloth from her bag and tied it around Kaka's arm for good luck. Aminat's eyes narrowed. So, Zarat is trying to win Kaka's heart with little tricks, she thought. Aminat decided to put her plan into action. She snuck away from the crowd and went to find Zarat's bag. When she was alone, she took the small cloth and hid it. She knew this was a small thing, but she hoped it might cause trouble. Later, when Zarat realized her cloth was missing, she was upset. "Where did my lucky cloth go?" she asked Kaka. Kaka frowned. "Don't worry, Zarat. It's just a cloth. We will finish the dam." But Zarat couldn't stop thinking about the missing cloth. "It meant a lot to me," she said. Aminat watched from a distance, her plan working perfectly. She hoped that this would create a problem between Kaka and Zarat. She was eager to see if she could make Zarat give up on Kaka. As the day wore on, the villagers worked hard, but the missing cloth cast a shadow over Zarat's mood. The dam was coming together, but Kaka and Zarat both felt the weight of Aminat's actions. What would happen next? Would Aminat's jealousy cause more trouble, or would Kaka and Zarat overcome the challenges they faced? The day after the cloth went missing, Aminat's jealousy grew even stronger. She watched from the shadows as Kaka and Zarat worked together, noticing